Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
This world is changing more and more every day, and we've decided to change right along with it. My name is Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the president of Trajectory TV Network. At Trajectory, our vision is to provide a comfortable, creative platform for top content creators and storytellers from around the globe. We're also dedicated to providing this world with content that is healing, educational, empowering, exciting, and above all else, entertaining and transparent. So right now, I invite all of you who believe yourselves to be global game changers to use the link found here and simply take a chance. Schedule a virtual chat where you'll have the opportunity to share your vision for your very own global television show with me, the network president. So use that link, and together, let's begin changing and healing this world, one story at a time. And remember, whether you have years of experience in front of the camera or zero experience, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is your desire to share great content through television and a willingness to share it with passion and with purpose. You might ask, how do I know if I've fallen in love with my purpose and my purpose has fallen in love with me? It's easy when you've lost your voice because you just can't stop talking about it. I'll see you soon.
Hi, my name's Stephanie Olson with Stephanie Olson Speaking and Consulting, and I just want to say I met Lauren a year and a half ago, but it was 2 months ago that I decided that Lauren was going to be my coach, and boy, that was not a mistake. He has truly transformed my life in not only just personally and how I view myself and my speaking and my consulting, but he has transformed the work. Since I have been working with Lauren for 2 months, he has put me in front of people that are changing my life. He has put me on stages that are stages that I could have never got on before. He has given me opportunities where I can get awards that I would have never had. So thank you, Lauren. And if you want to change your life, give him a call.
Good morning to you. That was my Barry White impression. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michael Harris, and happy Wednesday, hump day. Welcome to the middle of the week. Halfway there, right? Halfway there. Can I get an amen? I just want to say how great it is to be here with all of you today. Those of you who are watching live, those of you who are on your television sets, and those of you who will later be watching replay. Just wanted to say thank you to you because you are not here yet, but I see you now. So thank you for your support. Listen, it is cold for real. I went to the gym this morning and it was 24 degrees. Now, I used to think when, I would say, oh, I don't like the cold. People say, black people don't like the cold. Because we come from, And I was like, that's kind of a racist. No, today I know it's true. We do not. I get people pump gas. No offense, Caucasians, but the white people were pumping gas. They out there talking to each other and just laughing. One of the girls had on just a little sweater, windbreaker. I'm in a parka in the car with the heat on 5, going like this. Oh, Lord Jesus. And I'm looking at them and they're like, I was like, clearly being Nordic has advantages. So anyway, let's see. Oh, today is a great day. Giving Tuesday is now behind us. But today's Giving Wednesday, tomorrow's Giving Thursday, so on and so forth, until you come all the way back to next year's Giving Tuesday. Now you know what I'm saying there without saying it, right? Okay. It's not just a day. It's a way. It's a way we do things. Can I get an amen? So anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to hear that nasal. I did the neti pot this morning. Yeah, because flu season, cold season, are you getting, Brian asked me this morning about, I think he says, before we go to Mexico for Christmas, I think I'm getting that other booster, the next booster. And I'm sitting up there going, oh, Lord. So anyway, today, Mark Hattas is back. You guys remember him. He's been here several times. And originally, I wanted to talk about Giving Tuesday, but we kind of did that yesterday. We'll touch on it because his organization, Journey Stream, and a few other people collaborated to put some really great opportunities out there for Giving Tuesday. And if you have not yet decided on where your support for a worthy cause, nonprofit, what have you, will come from next, perhaps today we can change that for you. Okay. So I just want to, first of all, I'm going to get Mark in here. He's been here before, but let's still do what we always do, shall we? And that is make our guests feel welcome. We're here to pour into each other and to be poured into by and with each other. So it's our virtual way of saying thank you and giving a standing ovation. Put some hearts on the screen for Mark Hattas. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Dr. Harris, how are you?
Hey, Mark, is that you?
Okay, too close.
Mark, that's an inside joke, y'all. I'll tell you tomorrow. Remind me. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to be here with you.
Thank you. Welcome to Giving Wednesday.
I love Giving Wednesday.
We should start it. We'll be the ones they jump on. Like there wasn't already. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but it is. Every day is a day to give and a day to be open to receiving. Can I get an amen? Put in the comments. So, Mark, tell everybody, I'll give everybody a chance, a minute or so, to kind of just do their own extemporaneous bio. So tell people what you feel they need to know today about Mark Hattas. I'll give you a minute and I'll pop back in. So it's all you for a bit. Take it away.
All right. So facing an interesting thing right now. So some of you who have tuned in before know that we run a nonprofit. It's called Journey's Dream. JourneysDream.org is the URL. And it's really providing services for mental health and helping people get the resources they need to get to a healthy state. And the reason that, that was created, I had built and sold a tech company, and 9 months later ended up in the psych ward. And it was about a 3-year journey in and out until I finally found the resources that I use to get healthy. And so we share those and much, much more, because as I dove into that world, it's a pretty powerful healing environment that exists out there in the integrative mental health space. So journeysdream.org is that. And then we have a special thing that we're doing that we'll share in a little bit. But what brought me here today is the imposter syndrome.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Or should I? Wait, I wish I had a sound effect that went.
Yeah.
Or let Chucky run out across the screen. Yes, the dreaded imposter syndrome. We're gonna get into that. I have a little clip. It's a little cartoon clip. I haven't even watched it, but it had a lot of views and it was short enough. So we probably won't even watch the whole thing. But imposter syndrome, what do you know about it? I actually this morning over breakfast, I said to Brian, I said, why is it that imposter syndrome is not really talked about a lot? It's not, you don't hear it inside of all the mental health, mental wealth rooms or spaces. You just don't. What is it? PTSDC, and I have it. PTSDECP. Find out what it means to me. Okay, see what the cold weather would do to a black man. So anyway, no, but seriously, and how do you feel about this, Mark? It's a rare time when you find yourself in a conversation with people around table or dinner or anything about this topic. What is it why is it we're not talking about this so much?
Well, I mean, I think everyone faces it. I mean, it's a time when we're growing, we're learning something new, or in this case, someone slaps a positive label, being awarded with an honorary doctorate degree and flying to Las Vegas on Friday morning to receive that. And boys, ever since it came up, it's been, well, how do I use that? And what is it? And I mean, it's it started to seep in. And the last time I felt it, I would say, is when many years ago, when I had the distinct pleasure of being called CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, it was like, wait, what is a CEO? I carry the title, but what is it? And what does that mean? And I grew into that. But there was a time where I just felt out of place, like, uncomfortable with it. Didn't quite fit yet.
Oh. Oh, wait, let me get the banner off. Oh.
The banner hides it.
Oh. So Mark, when you look at that, what do you feel?
It's like, wait, there's too many letters on the beginning there. That's what it's like. Well, I've never seen my name like that. In fact, I even tried it before this came, because this just came yesterday, and I had tried it. It's like Dr. Mark Hattas. Like, I don't know. And then the school sent this over. It's like, wow, they believe it, but it's that belief. Like, do I, is it really? And deep down, I mean, I've called myself lots of things, and I've never called myself a doctor. And yet, here it is. Someone saying the work that you've done, and it's for entrepreneurship. It's a doctor of philosophy and entrepreneurship and charitable giving. So the work I've done with the Optimal Being program in business and Jenica, and then also the work that I've been doing in Journey's Dream. It's, someone looked at that body of work and evaluated everything that was submitted and said, yes, you deserve this.
And we're going to get into this side of it too, because there's so much going on, you guys. Because when it was my turn, I couldn't open the box. That was a big deal. You guys heard me tell you about it. I thought it was like a dead body in the dining room. I went all the way around the house to come in another door so I didn't have to walk past it. And it wasn't even out of the box yet, the robes and the regalia. It started haunting me before I'd even opened it. And you were the person I called, and you told me, oh, just open it and hang it up, Lauren, become one with it. So then when it was his turn, the box came, and you sent me a picture of it sitting there unopened. And I was like, wait a minute. Weren't you the guy who told me what I should do at the time? So even when you knew it was coming, because see, I didn't know it was going to be like that. You kind of had heads up. Why do you think you experienced some of the same sentiments, if you will, that I did?
Well, so one of the things is this whole thing between an honorary doctorate and someone who, goes to school and is awarded a doctor, a PhD or what have you. And then there's another gap, of course, between even PhD and medical doctor.
Right.
Because some medical doctors are like, no, we're the only ones that could be called doctor. And then the people who got the PhD and went to classes and did their dissertation, it's like, well, no, we're the ones, we did the work. And then there's this lowly little honorary doctorate thing. And that's kind of how I felt. It's like, well, yeah, it's like, and it's been over publicized a lot with like celebrities. Like a school will bring a celebrity in, give them an honorary doctorate to give a speech. Yeah. That's not what this is. This is, we looked at your body of work and everything you brought into the world, and someone can go to school and my doctor actually told me this because I was telling him I was struggling with this, and he said, well, what'd you do to get it? And I shared all the backdrop. He's like, Mark, you're a doctor. Like, just own it and use it. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't go to school. And he said, it doesn't matter. How many people went to school and got their PhD and did nothing with it, or did something, but not even to the level that you did. It's like, so someone who understands the world of what it means to be a doctor assessed it and said, no, you are a doctor.
Exactly. I did the same thing with people, ran that same, and they gave me the same response. They really did. But still, nonetheless, back to the box.
Is it really real?
Right. So when the box, so you looked, you knew what it was. I did. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, and this is what it felt. Did you hear this guy? That's kind of, that's why I won't touch that.
I put it in the closet after I took the picture and sent it to you. I put it in the closet, and it sat there for a couple of weeks.
I know.
I think my wife's like, what's in this box? Like, I don't know.
So amazing. Let's take a look at I don't even know what's in it. It's a little clip about imposter syndrome. So we can talk about some of the things that they bring up. And you guys out there that have experienced it or have something to chime in about, feel free, drop your comments.
Even after writing 11 books and winning several prestigious awards, Maya Angelou couldn't escape the nagging doubt that she hadn't really earned her accomplishments. Albert Einstein experienced something similar. He described himself as an involuntary swindler whose work didn't deserve as much attention as it had received. Accomplishments at the level of Angelou's or Einstein's are rare, but their feeling of fraudulence is extremely common. Why can't so many of us shake feelings that we haven't earned our accomplishments, or that our ideas and skills aren't worthy of others' attention? Psychologist Pauline Rose Clance was the first to study this unwarranted sense of insecurity. In her work as a therapist, she noticed many of her undergraduate patients shared a concern. Though they had high grades, they didn't believe they deserved their spots at the university. Some even believed their acceptance had been an admissions error. While Clance knew these fears were unfounded, she could also remember feeling the exact same way in graduate school. She and her patients experienced something that goes by a number of names: imposter phenomenon, imposter experience, and imposter syndrome. Together with colleague Suzanne Imes, Clance first studied imposterism in female college students and faculty. Their work established pervasive feelings of fraudulence in this group. Since that first study, the same thing has been established across gender, race, age, and a huge range of occupations, though it may be more prevalent and disproportionately affect the experiences of underrepresented or disadvantaged groups. To call it a syndrome is to downplay how universal it is. It's not a disease or an abnormality, and it isn't necessarily tied to depression, anxiety, or self-esteem. Where do these feelings of fraudulence come from? People who are highly skilled or accomplished tend to think others are just as skilled. This can spiral into feelings that they don't deserve accolades and opportunities over other people. And as Angelou and Einstein experienced, there's often no threshold of accomplishment that puts these feelings to rest. Feelings of imposterism aren't restricted to highly skilled individuals either. Everyone is susceptible to a phenomenon known as pluralistic ignorance, where we each doubt ourselves privately, but believe we're alone in thinking that way because no one else voices their doubts. Since it's tough to really know how hard our peers work, how difficult they find certain tasks, or how much they doubt themselves, there's no easy way to dismiss feelings that we're less capable than the people around us. Intense feelings of imposterism can prevent people from sharing their great ideas or applying for jobs and programs where they'd excel. At least so far, the most surefire way to combat imposter syndrome is to talk about it. Many people suffering from imposter syndrome are afraid that if they ask about their performance, their fears will be confirmed. And even when they receive positive feedback, it often fails to ease feelings of fraudulence. But on the other hand, hearing that an advisor or mentor has experienced feelings of imposterism can help relieve those feelings. The same goes for peers. Even simply finding out there's a term for these feelings can be an incredible relief. Once you're aware of the phenomenon, you can combat your own imposter syndrome by collecting and revisiting positive feedback. One scientist who kept blaming herself for problems
That's what you did.
started to document the causes every time something went wrong. Eventually, she realized most of the problems came from equipment failure and came to recognize her own competence. We may never be able to banish these feelings entirely, but we can have open conversations about academic or professional challenges. With increasing awareness of how common these experiences are, perhaps we can feel freer to be frank about our feelings and build confidence in some simple truths. You have talent, you are
I
capable,
did this yesterday.
and you belong. Everyone can use a little extra.
See?
So just yesterday, so can I share a quick story?
Yeah, of course.
So I do executive coaching, and we have a program called Optimal Being, and it's really about helping people get out of their own way and be at their best. And I wrote this book called Awakening Your Optimal Workforce, which came out, but I didn't like even share it with a lot of people. I just sent it to some people, and I got some feedback. Thanks. And the feedback was
You
that
acted like you didn't see it.
it was too like salesy in the beginning.
Yes.
And but the same guys like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 3, this book's a 7. It's got like huge value. But there was this one thing, it's like, that needed to be moved. So I've been working on that. And then he also, a couple of people had suggested, but this one particular person, I put a lot of weight on it, to put more at the end of each chapter that people could do. So I've been working on that. So here I'm working on it.
Okay,
And
wait.
I want to call him and ask for his input. This is like 3 weeks later. And I didn't want to call him. Like, wait, I don't want to call him because what if he won't give me the time? Or, this is a friend of mine. Or what if it's
I got
too
more
much
than that about you.
too much to ask or whatever. So I call and I tell him that. I just open up like they were sharing, like, share your feelings. Like, hey, look, I'm experiencing this. And he's like, oh my gosh, Mark, like, look, I'm totally happy to do that. No worries, and it was very supportive. But it was just that same kind of creeping thought of, wait, I want this book to be incredible for the people who read it, but do I deserve the help and support along the way to actually make it that way?
And that what you just described walks down several hallways in your world, because my husband is beta reading your next book.
Yep.
And he always gives me little status checks. I heard from Mark today. He was checking to see if I'd started it. And he goes, but if you don't, he tells me, but if you don't really want to do it.
I did.
I know. And
because I don't know what's going on in people's
that's on the
lives.
front end. This example with Brian is on the front end of a book. What you just gave us was on the back end of a book.
Right.
And then here's a nice chewy, ooey gooey center of a Tootsie Pop, i.e. meaning in real time. Today, I had something, I had to do the breaker box. I had no power down here. And I was texting Mark because should have been in already. I said, well, I don't have any power in the studio. He goes, oh, do you want to reschedule? First thing and then I said, no, and then I fixed it. I said, no, I found the problem. Oh, I'm sorry, or whatever you'd say. And, we joke, but there's always a little truth. People, a lot of us, I'm myself included, will mask my insecurities through humor. People do that when they're nervous, laughing at the world. What's so funny? Right. Nervousness. But this imposter syndrome. Now, listen, Maya Angelou had 19 honorary doctorate degrees and never went to college. A lot of people don't know that, you see. And like they were saying, how can a person like that doubt their accomplishments? Now, here's where I'm going to tell you my divine moment. Because, I got something coming. You guys saw it. I'm getting something this weekend, too. We both are. But it happened with the doctorate thing. But here's the thing that's brand new in my world since I found out what I'm getting, that lifetime thing. See, I'm dealing with it right there. I can't even say the full name of it. See what I'm saying?
Lifetime Achievement Award.
But see what I mean? Here I am talking shit.
I think it's from like the president or something, and the vice president.
Yeah.
Of the United States.
Of the United States. And so it's like this. See, I was pulling you out under the bus, and now I just dove underneath there with you. But here's what I want everyone to know, why I think whatever it is, take it and embrace it. I believe the root of this is why so many people, I think it's 80% of people, or I don't. So, like, oh, Mark, man, I love what you did with your hair. Oh, couldn't do a thing with it today. Oh, Jenny, I love that dress. This whole thing. Right. We cannot, because then, but when you do take one, you look for something good to say about the person who just gave you a compliment. And I find it's not hard to find a follow-up compliment that is authentic. But if we don't do that enough, when these moments come, this is what happens. I think that's where we start the grooming process of ourselves. Now, here's the beautiful part why I want you all, everyone, to try to face this down. Because here's what happened to me the other day when my thing came through, like I popped on the screen for Mark. I knew it was coming. I knew I had it, but it didn't seem as real. This was like the box showing up again. But this time I looked down the road because I know what that award stands for. People that have made great distance against great odds is what they say in their journey. And so it forced me to look to the left, to what used to just be like mile markers. Oh, yep, that's when that happened. And over there is when that. But this time, instead of me focusing on what I was seeing there, my focus was on what was looking back at me. It was looking back at me. And it was a totally different experience. I don't even know you can understand what I'm saying by that, but I know this to be true. It is the exact same feeling I hope to have one day when I take my last breath and I look back at my entire journey. It's not about, oh, look at all that, I'm a miss y'all. No, it's the look on the faces of the things that I've left in this world. What will they be smiling at me? How will they be looking back at me? We'll keep going. You go on. We'll stay here and keep it going. That's how I feel about it. And I think everybody should think about that. What do you say, Mark?
Yeah, I think that's right on. And I also, and the idea of it looking back at you, is really extraordinary to shift perspective, instead of it being all focused on whatever was in our head that pops you out of your head. Right. So, and helps you take on a different perception. As I was watching the video, one of the things I wanted to share too is Einstein and what's the other woman? Yeah.
Maya Angelou.
Yes. I've never seen her name written, so I don't want to mispronounce it.
Oh,
but
okay.
One of the things that I thought of as
someone might mistake you for a doctor if you mispronounced it.
Right. You'd have to see my handwriting. I got to work on my messy handwriting. So one of the things that I was sensing is I have this bar. And I think a lot of people do have this bar internally of what they want to accomplish in life, who they want to be, how they really want to show up, as they're the best of who they are. And what I see is, okay, I've done these things in the past, like you were sharing, Lauren, but that's in the past. Like that was before. And so what am I doing today? What am I doing now? And where am I at? And so the visions that I have for creating in the future have yet to be met. They're still out there. And that's where some of that imposter syndrome comes for me. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you're giving me this doctorate piece, but I haven't done all the things that I wanted to do. I haven't completed. And so shouldn't you wait until I've done something even more meaningful than what I've done? But that's not how it works. But that's what was, I think, going on in me. It's like, wait, there's all these other things. Like I would be so much more deserving if I had only done this, and this, or if my book only sold more copies, or if I was only had more clients, or whatever that might be.
But look, our work is our voice that will be still ringing and echoing and speaking to this world when we're ashes to ashes, dust to dust, moved on to whatever is next. But it's just like that first time you ever heard yourself recorded. Remember when you're a kid and you played with the little recorder?
I hated
and you
it.
go, the first time you heard your voice,
like, who's that?
The way it sounds to the world. Remember that? You go, that is not me, because it doesn't sound out there like it does in here. And I believe it's the same, because everything that we get to experience outside of ourselves is an example of how it lives somewhere within us. Everything. And so I find it so interesting. That's what I love about whatever it is that each of us ascribes to be greater than ourselves, is that's why I say there's never a mistake. It's just whatever is creating all this with us, keeping it interesting. It really does. Now, what about this part? Here's what I've been dealing with. I'm like, wait a minute. Lifetime. And then when they get people, they're like, okay, now go sit your old ass down. Get out the way. Nice job. You can go now. Right. And then I was like, wait a minute. Or universe, are y'all getting ready? Am I getting ready to die? What's going? Seriously. You're like, wait a minute. It's just an amazing, it is a phenomenon. It truly is. But because it's never about one thing, I hit that little panic moment for a second, but then I go, wait a minute, that couldn't be it. That couldn't be it, because purpose always brings joy, and it always leaves a timestamp of more. You have something you can do more with. You can help more people. And I look at it like this, Mark. Every time these things happen to us, it's another line. We're actually writing our eulogy. We're writing what people will talk about. And those are the things, I believe they're the wheels for the cart or the vehicle that will carry our work when we can't. And I think everybody should think about that, because it doesn't take, I don't believe these things happen in a big, big way unless they've been happening in a small, because they're all relative. This is just as magnificent as when we sit down and Journey's Dream were just 2 words in your mind. Same thing with whatever your passions are. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like you will peel this onion completely? Or do you feel like you'll just keep evolving into less and less of an imposter phenomena recipient? I mean, can we get from behind it, do you think? Do we want to? Because it has something to do with ego, too.
I think one of the things the doctor that I was talking to about this had shared, he was saying that the key with this is to use it, because if you don't use it, then it just kind of gets buried in the backdrop. And so it's
like a hand on the wall, right?
Yeah, and so it's to get to a place where it's like, well, how do I use it? It's not going to a social event and saying, call me doctor, but in
Right.
professional things, in, different dynamics. I had this thought of creating a show, the Dr. Mark show or whatever. I haven't nailed the title, but once I
Wait.
land, I don't think I've landed there, but once I land with, okay, here's how I'm going to start using it, and it will be a baby step kind of thing. Here's how I'll start using it. And then, okay, but it's not from, for me, it's from more of that source connection, rather than, how do I use it to build a brand or something like that, which is fine. But it's like, how do I use it for the good of other people? Is there a place for it? Because that's what, and you inspired that in me too, because that's what you did. And it's like, how do I use it so that it, does something really significant for other people? That there is something true about, those two letters at the beginning of a name that raises credibility. And so, do we have a message that's really timely and important for people to hear, and to have that credibility behind it, is really a positive thing. So you might share a little bit about how you got to that place, because I
Right.
think you really demonstrate like value for bringing it out. You got there. So what did you do?
What did I do? Well, first of all, before I answer that, I want to restart that manifestation of the Dr. Mark show. So it really should be the Dr. Mark show on
Trajectory
TV.
TV.
So I'm going to put that on my wall of purpose.
And when I saw your ad for it, that was what crossed my mind too. It's like, maybe I could do a show on there.
You could. You will. You will. I'm telling you. Listen, we're going to go to it. And I hope, I just got a notification that StreamYard is having trouble on the Bathrobe Moments page and YouTube right now. And I'm not even going to mess with it. Oh, YouTube's back. Maybe the other one will be. We're going to take just a brief break, very brief. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the difference between, where does ego? Because I want you to think about this, Mark, while we're gone.
Okay.
Ego has always been something that it was like an itchy, wet wool sweater. I just never wanted that to be a part of it. But where is that demarcation line where it's not ego, but you must learn to be able to accept these things, because that is where we become best friends with humility, humbleness, and those things. So when we come back, let's kind of talk about that. Why are those things so important? It sends me back to Christianity stories about parables and miracles, and so think about that. I want to know what you all think. We'll be right back. All right, day 2 of the new sponsorship with Jack Black, and in product number 1 of 5 is the Advanced Therapy, Intense Therapy Lip Balm. And with cold weather, of course, I love me some lip balm. I really do. But anyway, there's an entire plethora of great skincare products. I use about 4 of them. I'm going to get introduced to some new ones. So try it. Check it out. jackblack.com and Intense Therapy Lip Balm, especially in this winter. Nothing worse than some dried ass, cracked up lips. Trust me. Mine are all dressed up with no place to go. Anyway, let's get Mark back in here. Hi, Mark. Welcome back. So what did you come up with? What were you thinking about ego versus... okay, it's not ego-based, but thank you so much for this. this and the other. And do you think celebrities feel this way when they win an Oscar or they win, because I've seen some pretty good acceptance speeches that I know is true. And they really didn't think they would get this.
Yeah.
But they did.
I think there's three parts actually to this whole ego conversation. One, I definitely believe one of our life journeys is to fully integrate that ego. There's been talk for years about, oh, you got to kill the ego. It's like, well, I think there might be a death and integration process, but when the ego is integrated in the spirit,
Yes.
and I think that's what, you go back to those Christian stories. I think that's what Jesus was teaching us. Like, hey, and prophets have been teaching us about, humility. But there's a glory in that process where when we're in that state where, let's just call it our source connection, our relationship, with God, if you will, is pure, the manifestations in the world become magnified and they accelerate. Things move quicker. People have asked me like, hey, how'd you write these 5 books? Like, I can't really take full credit. I was there. I'm in the process. I'm doing it. But it's like there is something moving in me. There's something moving through me. And the other side of that, though, is the rejection of. And I've seen people falsely reject. There's a genuine integration that needs to happen with something like this doctor role, for example, when you're bestowed an Oscar or whatever it is. I think there's a genuine integration that happens. Like, wait, can I accept that? There's another side to the rejection part. I don't think it's really in the divine, plan to reject things that come our way. When something is put in our lap, it's a gift, and what is it that we're to do with that? Now,
Well, the first thing, okay,
we
wait.
can take that gift 2 ways.
Well, and I'm thinking about this. It gives us an opportunity to remember ourselves that everything we've done, we have not done alone. So
Right.
just like when you say, I accept this award, in my mind, I'm thinking we, myself, and everything that I co-author with. And that helps me go because it's all about being able to know how and when to relinquish control, and say, you know what, look what we've done.
Yeah.
And also when that part yesterday, when I posted my thing, I shared it, and I've done it with private people. I called mother number 4 yesterday, who's 96. We talked for an hour last night, and I told her, I really want to share this with you. This belongs to you too, because every role you played, every moment, not just when I was in your home, but the things that I took from you that became and found a home within me, makes you so deserving to share this with me. And it helped trigger, oh, I need to do this. Let me find my way to her or share this with them. And it's surprising me because it's not just those major people. It's pivotal moments that I didn't realize meant so much to me until I couldn't wait to share it with them. And it wasn't, ooh, look what I got. It was like, this is yours too.
I appreciate you sharing that because it's so true. I'm going to do that and think of, who to call as well. I mean, names are rattling around in my head as you're saying it. It's like,
Right.
that's really a genuine, like, golden nugget of wisdom.
It really is. And she's 96. And the first thing she said to me was, I'm not a bit surprised. I always told you that you were gifted, which means you have gifts. She goes, now just keep using them. Keep using them. And I was marveling at her because she's 96 and she goes, I'm young. She goes, I have 3 friends that are over 100 years old. And we just lost my professor who taught me in grad school in the 40s. She said he was 110. And so when you hear these things about what this means, and you're talking to someone who's 96 and knows people that are over 100, and they go, wow, you really feel what you should feel. That's really important. I think that's really important to the big scheme. So,
I like that sharing. I'm going to share right away and let people participate in the joy, of this. Cause you're right on. You're right on. And there's a we with the, that which is bigger, greater than us. And there's a we in the world.
in the world, that's that top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner thing. It always forces me. That's why, I wear this. Thank you, Gabriel Klingman. It forces me to seek in every direction who I can thank, seek gratitude, seek joy, seek remembering myself to those moments. Oh yeah. I find myself being transported like on a carpet back to various scenes along the journey. I'm calling Mrs. Valentine back today because I'm going to challenge her today. I'm going to say, I bet you don't remember what my favorite meal you cooked was. And I'm going to say, because she named it. I'll never forget. It came to me last night. Conversation casserole. And I said, well, why'd you name it that? And I'm looking all in because I love cooking today. And she goes, because every time I take it to potluck at church, it's all they talk about. So I'm gonna call
that's delicious.
Yeah, nice one. So that's the kind of thing. So let me ask you this. You have 5 children. Have they made their way to you? What have they been saying to you when they get you a loan or whatever,
About this?
About, yeah.
Nothing. I think they know. I'm pretty sure they know because I did email out because I've got 3 kids I got out of the house at school and out of the house and 2 at home.
I think they know.
I think they know. In fact, I just emailed before the show. I emailed my wife the image so that she could, participate.
You didn't go up to her and say, "Look." Oh, there's Brian, everybody.
I think she was. I think she was still in bed.
Oh, because you woke up to it.
Yeah, I woke up. Well, I saw it yesterday. I didn't do anything with it. I just looked at it. I'm like, closed it. Like that's for the event. But then I snuck a peek this morning. I'm like, all right, I'll send that to Liz.
You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm a beg Dr. Mohair to let me stay in that room because I know they're gonna do it. When I told you guys about it too. When she walks around, she's the founder of the university, and she's just been gifted to work this magic in this world. And when she walks around and she talks about, it wasn't long ago that some of us were on the verge of literally nervous breakdowns. It wasn't so long ago that we felt some form of betrayal or invisible or on mute to some of the closest people in our world. She gives this whole litany. And then she looks around, she sends a mill, she just goes, but look what is greater than all that. Whatever you call it is responsible because suddenly you're all doctors. And that's when the vortex opened up for me in that very moment where I felt the responsibility wrapped around a core of vibrating energy known as sheer joy. The joy is there, but it's wrapped with responsibility. You cannot see through to it without passing the responsibility markers. So that, and I just love the way they gave it to me to honor and to escort through every step for the rest of my journey and beyond. These are the things that I think can have a way of going on with us in one way or another. I don't know what it looks like on the end when it translates over but I believe some part of it comes with us, will go with us. So what do you plan on doing with it, Dr. Mark Hattas? Have you thought outside of the show?
That might be an airplane ride conversation. We're flying to Vegas together.
We are.
So the one thought, you ever seen the show Billions? It's a show with a character. The character's name is Wendy Rhodes, and she plays she's a psychologist, but she's a psychologist for a company.
Okay.
And it's a hedge fund. And so she kind of keeps the people on their game so that they can go make money.
Okay.
And when I first heard about this, and thank you, by the way, because you were the one that recommended me for this and nominated me, the thought crossed my mind of one of my clients who said, Mark, you're just like Wendy Rhodes, not in all of her character development things, but just in terms of that role of being a coach who helps people kind of stay at their best. And you can relate to this, of course, as well. And what I thought was like, oh, this would give me credibility in companies, to have them know that a third party has kind of validated my body of work.
Exactly.
And especially in my field with coaching and with performance and this particular area of what I specialize in. And I originally thought like that would be good. Like, when I republish this book with the changes, have Dr. Mark Hattas on there. Those are some of the things I'm thinking of, but there's still hesitation. There's still a little bit of, okay, I still want to discount part of it. And so I need to get to a place where it's like, okay, can I fully own it? I saw the shameless plug. Can I fully own it and really,
I don't think you need
that. But that's what I think.
You use the word need in there. I would say that's a want, because that's a wish. Need, because what you're saying doesn't come with a plan. That doesn't come with a plan. That's reverse manifestation, kind
of. Tell me what you mean.
Never mind. We'll talk about that on the plane. But because I got a burning question for you.
Okay.
This is a big part. If you haven't considered it, I want you to start now. Just like as soon as I knew that I had the opportunity, the power to change someone's life in a way that I've never, I mean, this is tangible power to change someone's life. It was your face that I saw first. Have you started thinking about whose life you can change? Because if they have this, it's a key. It will give them opportunities to open doors that before may have been locked or closed. Have you thought about people in your life?
I know exactly. There's a woman who I think the world of, and she's done remarkable things.
See?
And I don't know how it would manifest in terms of her use of it, but it's
because that's for them to do.
But whenever I think of like, is there someone else that I know? It's like she keeps popping into my mind.
There you go. See, I just wanted to affirm that. Right. It's the Slinky effect. As soon as the Slinky came into my world and did it to me, I start looking around my world for who I can do it with and provide it for them as well. And that, again, is the litmus test of purpose. It always looks for more. Keep that. Take that. I want you to have that today. Thank you, Mark Hattas. It's time to go. I look forward to everything that's in front of us, not just this weekend. And I look forward to hearing more about your life-changing moments out there. Every moment is life-changing because your life changes as you live it. Find your content in the life you are currently living or that room you just most recently lived within, and you'll do exactly what you're supposed to do. Just do it on purpose. When you mean it, it becomes meaningful. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow morning, God willing, right out front on the front porch, and we'll do this all over again. God bless you. Have the best day ever and be the best version of yourself ever. Thank you, Mark. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Lauren.
Okay. Bye, you guys. Be good to yourselves and be even better to others.